Dun, dun, dun. Okay. You're on.
All right, welcome everyone. We are slowly getting back to a sense of normalcy here with actually live people together here in Mounts Bay. We have several of the board members with the homeowners zooming in. Next month, we certainly hope, no guarantees, but we hope that we'll be back to almost normal, where we'll have the board and fully vaccinated homeowners here with us in Mounts Bay for an old style board meeting. So definitely looking forward to that. So with that, let me say the meeting is called to order. First item on the agenda is an announcement by the developer. So Michael, would you like to take that?
Yes, sir. Please be advised that pursuant to Article 6 of the Articles of Incorporation of Kingsmill Community Services Association, Escalante Kingsmill, as the Class C member of the association, hereby appoints the following individual in place and stead of Ms. Catherine Chapman, and for the remainder of her term, to serve as replacement representative on the board of directors for KCSA. Ms. Monica Gray.
Welcome, Monica.
Thank you.
And just so you know, Monica is an appointed board member, but she's also a full-time resident of Kingsmill.
Absolutely.
Formerly Wareham's Point and now the Enclave. Is that true?
Jefferson's 100 and now the Enclave.
Jefferson's 100 and now the Enclave. So welcome to the board.
Thank you.
All right, let's do our roll call. Ron Lind.
Here.
Brandon Beatty.
Here.
Ed Connors.
Here.
Anicio Holmes Brown.
Here.
John Hudson is here. Angel Freeman.
Here.
Michael Pierce.
Here.
Monica Renth.
Here.
Jonathan Hawk.
Here.
All right, we have the full board with us. Bruce, there's no one on the homeowners forum who was asked to speak?
That is correct. We do not have anyone.
All right, so we'll move to item 4A in our consent agenda, 4A through D. 4A is the approval and correction of the draft of the April 21st board due process executive session minutes, page 1. 4B is approval correction of the draft of the April 22nd board meeting minutes, pages 2 through 4. 4C, approval correction of the draft of the April 23rd board executive session minutes, page 5. And then finally, item D is a unanimous consent item, ratification of unanimous consent of the board to approve a contract with ECS Mid-Atlantic LLC in the amount of $29,875.05 for the geotechnical and materials engineering service for 2021 paving of South Hall Road and all roads off South Hall, pages 6 through 20. Are there any changes or corrections or questions about any of those things?
Move to approve.
All right, need a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, next let's move to item 5 on our agenda. That's our April financial statements. So Ron, you want to take those, review those for us?
Yes. Okay.
See the slides up now. For the month of April, KCSA ran an operating surplus. The KCSA homeowner assessments amounted to $436,000, which is slightly over budget. Other income was over budget this month and came in at $69,000. KCSA operating revenue after debt service and reserve funding totaled $350,000, which is $18,000 over budget. We incurred $344,000 in total operating expenses, which was $18,000 favorably under budget. And we ended the month with $6,000 of revenue over expenses. KCSA year-to-date results through April, the homeowners assessments amounted to $1,742,000, which is $4,000 over budget. In addition, other income amounted to $265,000, which is about $60,000 over budget. These two income streams amounted to $2,007,000. After paying our mortgage expenses and setting aside our reserve funding, we had $1,388,000 of operating income, which is $64,000 over what we budgeted. Bringing this together, in the first 4 months of the year, we generated $1,388,000 of operating income, while operating expenses amounted to $1,226,000. We had budgeted for a surplus of $28,000. However, operating income was $64,000 over budget, and operating expenses were $70,000 under budget, producing a $134,000 favorable variance over budget and resulting in $156,000 of revenue over expenses through April of this year. Of special interest, homeowner resale income for the first 4 months of this year was $199,000 versus our budgeted forecast of $131,000. In the month of April, home resale income was $50,000, which was $18,000 over our forecast. Now let's look at our funded reserves. As of the end of April, operating expense reserve fund, or OER, there was one OER expenditure this month for $19,000. Year to date, we've spent $64,000 on stormwater drainage and landscape improvements, and we have a balance of $738,000 in OER. Major Maintenance and Replacement Fund, or MM&R, we had $41,000 in expenditures this month for a new police vehicle and street light poles. Year to date, we have spent $47,000 on MM&R projects, and the MM&R fund has a balance of $6,142,000. New Capital Projects Fund, or NCP, there were 2 expenditures this month totaling $27,000, which included the last payment on the master plan and conference video equipment. Year to date, we have spent $37,000. The NCP fund has a balance of $1,005,000. Not on your chart, accounts receivable for April, the homeowner's accounts receivable for both KCSA and the parcels has a balance of $139,000, which is about $3,000 higher than March. However, accounts receivable over 90 days old amounted to $88,000, which is down about $3,000 from last month. The April financial statements have been reviewed by the Budget and Finance Committee, and they recommend the Board of Directors approve the April financial statements. I move the board approve the April financial statements.
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? No unusual transactions, nothing out of the ordinary, anything this past month?
No.
Yeah. All right, all in favor of accepting the financial reports? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you, Ron. All right, let's move to item 6 on the agenda, our staff reports, pages 21 to 33. Bruce, you want to start that?
Okay, thanks, John. Start with the delinquency. Ron's already hit on the total of $139,000 for the month, and again being up just a little bit from March. Another thing to note is we're actually down 100 from 147,000 from a year ago as well. So we continue to make strides in that, and we'll continue. We've got, as I say every month, there's still some feelers out there for some of our larger accounts that we're working on. The community standards for the month, you can see those numbers. Good bit of activity for the month of April.
I think we need to advance that slide one.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
So you can see a lot of follow-up violations last month, and we just continue to do our community-wide inspections on the regular basis. EPB application process. We're down a little bit on the applications for the month of April, but I know I've seen a lot coming in over the last few days. So I expect May to jump up pretty good. We're at for the year to date, we're 271 total EPB applications at this point. So a couple other things that I want to add in. We talked briefly. The asphalt project is getting ready to get started. The 2021 project will start next week on South Hall Road and all the roads off of South Hall. One item that there is a time and material issue. We've removed a tree over on Whitaker's Mill. So we're fixing the road there. We're going to basically make a new road bed there. And then over on Mile Course, we are going to reduce the size of the island that's at the very back. Everybody seems to want to drive through it rather than around it. So we're going to shrink it some with a lot of the lawn people, the construction people. So we're going to reduce that as well. And the time and material, they're estimating around $12,000 for that. So just wanted to go ahead and bring that up to the board as well. Again, we'll start also next week with the 2020 finish up of Francis Thacker and Burwell's Glen area as well. So that will be a longer process. I anticipate 6 to 8 weeks on that process, and probably about 6 weeks on South Hall. We got a lot of road space.
And that'll include that spot on Fairfax Way?
Correct. We'll add that on to Branston's portion of it. As you know, the pools are opening Saturday. We have had a flurry in the office. A lot of people coming in getting pool passes. We're excited from a staff standpoint to be able to be here in person, as well as we look forward to the weekend of being able to open the pools up and get as many homeowners and of course their guests as well. We are still requiring the waivers. So if you have not signed that waiver and you plan on using the pool, please make sure you get one. There will be waivers at the pool. The guest punch cards will also be at the pool as well. That those can be picked up or purchased there as well. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Jim?
Yes, sir. Good evening. I'll preface the traffic report by stating that when we compare these numbers, we compare them to the same month of the previous year. And as you know, in April of 2020, that's when we were pretty much shut down and we were not stopping vehicles just to keep our distance from anyone who might have had the COVID virus. So most of our numbers have increased by 100% or better. And if you'll see there on verbal warnings, we issued 36 this past month. And that was 100+% increase. 62 for year to date, which is down about 51%. One written warning was issued. And that's also year to date decrease of about 81%. Traffic summonses, we issued 8. We've done 10 to date. And the radar trailer was employed for 16 days, a total of 384 hours. Calls for service, we answered 162 calls for service, which is actually a 36% increase from last April, and 448 year to date, which is a decrease of about 40%. House checks and building checks, we had 284 for the month of April, which was about a 9% increase, and 1,070, which is almost 13% decrease year to date. 424 area checks, which was a 34.5% decrease, and 1,763 year to date, which is a 24% decrease. Currently, we have 4 vacancies, but we are in the process of hiring. They are divided up. We have 1 patrol slot that is available and 3 public safety officers. And we're in the process now of trying to onboard a couple of public safety officers. As you know, the new vehicle arrived and has been outfitted and you'll see it on the roads now. We've got a little bit of an issue with DMV because we can't get into DMV to get license plates on it until July. So we're going to have a second set of 30-day tags put on it, but we will get it properly licensed before the tags run out.
Who's going to stop you, Jim?
I don't know. I hope it's not you, John.
They're waiting for you at the gas station.
The gate access system is working fine. One update to that is the DSX software that's supposed to be upgraded in June. David Pava with Livewire and Eric Kreisman with VCE are working on compatible dates where they can get the system upgraded. So we should look to see that sometime in probably the second, third week of June. Current items of interest, just the usual meetings that we attend every month. We did the LPGA tournament this past week. It was nice to see people back. We had a little bit of issue with outsiders speeding down the roadways, but we had the radar trailer out on Kingsmill Road and Mounts Bay Road at some portion of the week just to get people to slow down. I won't give names, but an officer did write a player for going 44 and 20. She was actually going 48, but that would have been reckless driving. So he cut her a break and wrote it for 44 and a 25. And also at some point during the tournament, we had a couple of our resident teenagers decide to go on a vandalism spree. They knocked over a couple of the porta-johns around the course, and they did some spray painting. They have been identified, parents have been talked to, and they're going to work out arrangements for restitution. And other than that, the statistics, some other statistics by categories, accidents and injuries, we had a 100% decrease as we had none for the month of April. The alarms we responded to, 16.5% decrease. We responded to 5. And medical assist, we responded to 12, which is about a 43% decrease. And that's all I have. Unless you have any questions for me.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Hey, Jim, I got one quick question. That vandalism you were talking about, does that include the KCSA signs that were vandalized as well?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, any questions of Bruce or Jim on their reports?
Sure.
All right, I need a motion to accept the reports.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Reports are accepted. All right, let's move to item 7A on the agenda, Littletown Quarter extension of the paint cycle from 6 to 7 years. Brandon, you want to give us an update on that?
Sure. The finance, a couple of members of the finance committee, myself and Littletown Quarter representatives got together. We came to the conclusion that we're going to suggest a deferral of the paint cycle until the 2022 budget cycle, which is in November. That way we can look at how this affects a 5-year budget and forecast. And because they have money in OER, they are going to go ahead and start a 50% of the community soft wash because it's necessary. And so that's where we're at on that.
All right, any questions from Brandon? For Brandon? All right, there's no action we need to take tonight, correct, Brandon?
No action. We are deferring any type of decision on extension officially until the November budget cycle for the 2022 budget.
All right, thank you. Then let's move to item 7B. Littletown Quarter again, request to amend their supplemental declaration to add leasing limitations. Pages 34 to 41 in your agenda materials. And Bob, Bob Michaels, you with us?
I'm with us.
All
And
right,
you?
you're up.
Pardon me?
I say you're up to bat.
Since our April meeting with you guys, our amendment has been tended over to legal staff. Legal staff made a minor correction to our draft, which we accepted. We suggested in turn what we considered a major change to their draft, and the lawyers accepted that. So both sides are in acceptance on the amendment. And so what we're waiting for tonight is your approval to move ahead with mailing this to our owners. Questions?
Okay, any questions for Bob? This is the same template, I guess, that we used for River's Edge, the one that's.
Same template modified to reflect Littletown quarter values as opposed to River's Edge values.
Okay, no questions for?
Question for Ed, the change to the ballot that he wanted, is that?
I think, yeah, the only change was that one, the adding on the rental units, and we took care of that. Ed and I talked about that the other day, so that the ballot's been fixed. It was basically clarifying that this would mean you're approving 10 units to be rented, more or less, on that. And then the other item was, Sue had put in there, you must live in your home for 365 days. Littletown Quarter requested it to own your home. Pretty much means same thing. You can't rent for a year anyway. So she was fine with changing
So
it
no
back to-
substantive change.
Correct. Right.
All right, then I guess we need a motion to approve the proposed amendment and to mail the cover letter, proposed amendment and ballot to the Littletown Quarter homeowners.
So move.
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All
Thank
right,
you.
Bob, you bet.
Hey, Bob, I know you and Sally are on there. We are prepared to put this in the mail tomorrow, just to let you guys know.
I can't wait to get it and say yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is item 7C, template for committee reports to be delivered at the board meetings. I've been dragging my feet on that. That one, I'm afraid I own. It is done, and Bruce is gonna send it out the next couple days probably. So it's ready to go. You'll be getting, committee members and parcel chairs will be getting a copy. And this is sort of a trial run. So this can definitely be improved. Very simple document, nothing special about it. So any ideas you have to improve it, to make it more focused on what you need to share, we need to hear, that kind of thing would be much appreciated. But you should be getting it very, very soon, over the next few days. All right, let's go to item 8 in our new business agenda. This is the River's Edge request to establish a grinder pump system subline of accounting under MM&R and authorize a loan from MM&R to each subline for maintenance and financing. It's pages 45 to 48. Tom, are you on with us?
We can find him. Yep, he's with us. There we go.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, John. I tried to make the memo as self-explanatory as possible without giving everybody the agonizing detail behind all this. Essentially, what we need to do is to disengage ourselves from JCSA, take full control of the grinder pump system here in River's Edge, and establish the necessary reserves going forward to maintain the system. In order to do that and properly allocate the costs, we need to create a subline under MM&R exclusive to the grinder pump system so that we can assess the grinder pump costs back to the grinder pump lots. Because we didn't have a reserve established, we now need to take out a loan from the top line MM&R, put the funds in the subline, take care of the work we need to do with the funds in that subline, and then repay the loan back to MM&R over time. That's what we were requesting the board to do. And Ron Lind has been instrumental in developing all the financials. And I think between the two of us, we can answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Ron, anything you want to add to this?
Just that the loan will be out of the MM&R reserve of the parcel, River's Edge parcel. This is not out of the
Not
KCSA reserve. It's out of the MM&R reserves of the parcel. So, and there's really no increase in cost to the people that use the grinder pumps. So the cost that the amount that they're contributing now to the county will just be paid to KCSA in the form of raising their parcel assessment by that amount.
Okay, any other questions for Ron or Tom?
No.
All right, then, let's see. I need a motion to approve.
So move.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, the ayes carry. All right, let's go to item 8C. Yes.
John, can we go to item 8A for the acceptance of the Timmins Group Master Plan?
You're right.
Change the agenda.
8A, acceptance of Timmins. Yeah, what that is just as we accept the financial reports and we accept the staff reports, we accept various reports. We need to accept the Timmins report regarding our master planning project. As you know, in March of this year, they issued their final report on the master plan work that they've been doing. And it's their view of a possible project development framework for the future of KCSA. And so, but the important point is in accepting the report, the board's not approving any specific projects. Any future projects will still be approved on a case-by-case basis. So all we're doing is accepting their report. Any questions or comments?
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we are on item 8C, I guess now, is that right?
Yes.
Quarter Path Trace request to begin a multi-year plan to replace trees and limited common areas. Lynn or Grace, either of you want to take the lead on that?
I'll speak briefly, but I think we said it today, and anything more would be repetitive. Any questions? I'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, we're having a little trouble with your audio.
She has no presentation. She'll take questions.
Okay. All right, any questions? Where are we on the responsibility for any future damage caused by roots to the sidewalks?
I think that was included in the plan, wasn't it, Ed? Is that
They have received and acknowledged the memo from Buildings and Grounds on the responsibilities for any future root damage.
So Nat, are you saying it's clear that responsibility will be picked up by Quarter Path Trace?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is a real, I applaud their efforts to improve the area of Quarter Path Trace with these trees. I think it's going to be an
Yeah, it's
improvement.
gonna look great.
Yeah.
John, I would just make sure to put that in the motion about responsibility for those sidewalks, so that we've got some minutes to go back to if we ever need to.
May I ask a question?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
He said,
Go ahead, Lynn.
I don't know what the parcels do. I know not all parcels have pavements, and I know other brick pavement. But what do other parcels are at their pavements that are
Can't understand.
No.
anything.
I'm sorry, the audio is really bad. Ed, did you-
Let me see if Grace is here too.
I'm sorry?
Grace, I think she's here, yeah. Hey, Grace, can you unmute and help us a little bit?
Yep, can you hear me?
There you go.
There.
I don't know exactly what she's trying to say. Lynn, we're having trouble hearing you. Your thing is echoing really badly. I guess our only concern is, since we have already paved the sidewalks, I think it was a year or so ago, there's already been some changes. And so how do we document, I guess, where we are at the time we plant the trees, so that going forward, we're, oops, somebody just, oh, hold on, Lynn's trying to call me. Hey, Lynn.
First, they do annual parcel inspections.
Mhm.
It should be added. to
It
the
should,
annual
it should,
parcel
right, when
inspection.
we do the asset inspections, that ought to be looked at the same time.
Yeah, and they put, it's in their memo.
Yeah.
She's asking, what do other parcels do for annual repairs for this kind of situation, so that we would be, equitable? How does that work?
They fund them themselves.
Right. Okay. Bruce says they fund them themselves. Okay, well, she hung up, so I guess that's all we've got.
Any further questions of Grace?
No.
I move we accept the proposal.
Accept the proposal, and you want to include on that motion with the understanding that the cost to repair any future sidewalk problems caused
Will
by
be,
the
in
roots?
yeah. Include that, please,
Mhm.
in the motion.
Okay, everybody understand what you're voting on?
By
here?
by the roots of the new trees.
Of the new trees.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
I don't think there's any old trees.
Anything we need to say
Oh, yeah.
about annual
There's a
inspections in
bunch
the
of-
motion? Or is
On
that
the
just a?
homeowner side.
No, that's just when it,
Detail.
that's when it occurs.
Okay. All right, all right, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Any other questions?
No.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 8D, the 2021 Election Committee co-chairs. Bruce, you want to take us through that?
Sure. What staff would, is requesting here is that the board approve Caroline Lauer and Cheryl Connors to be appointed as co-chairs for the 2021 election committee. And then we'll come back at another time with members and get those approved as well. We're having a hard time finding. We had to nearly, actually not nearly impossible. It was impossible to find somebody that would handle the nominations committee chair position. So we'll do the same thing we did last year. We'll open it up. We'll notify everybody, and we'll collect the petitions at the office.
Okay, any questions? Need a motion to approve?
So move.
Need a second?
Hold on. Mona, please let the record reflect that Ed Connors abstained from the vote.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? One abstention. All right, let's move to item 9, President's Report. Just a brief report. As you know, we just completed the first phase of a 3-phase project for a Kings Mill-wide master plan. And while a lot of the attention around the master plan is about buildings, it's about recreation centers, it's about shoreline boardwalks and other kind of hammers and nails, for lack of a better way to describe them, that type of project, probably the most important element that we hope comes out of this master plan really isn't any of those. Those are means to an end. It's about adding amenities in a way that really strengthen the social bonds and sense of community between and among Kings Mill homeowners. During this project, it became really clear early on that maximizing the return on our recreational assets was a lot more than just building them and maintaining them. This "if you build it, they will come" mentality really doesn't work. What makes them come alive are those community events we build around them. It's like the pools, tennis, and pickleball courts are the hardware, and the social programs really are the software. And just like with computers, it's the software that makes them run successfully. Without the software, they're nothing more than a paperweight. So we're looking at potential projects as we evaluate them from both a hammers and nails perspective, as well as a community point of view. We're asking ourselves how we can add amenities, but do it in a way that strengthens those social bonds and the sense of community among Kings Mill residents. Let me give you a few examples. We're hoping to build outdoor conversation pits along the walking loop to enhance the social interaction into what might otherwise solely be an exercise activity. That's one way to make it still an exercise activity, but also bring a large social element into it. Consider little things like putting a coffee station with some comfortable seating in Wareham's Pond Rec Center, where homeowners, maybe a book group, might want to meet there and interact. We want to begin structuring programs like demonstrations and competitive play on our pickleball courts, where we had 125 people recently show up for one of our pickleball days. Again, it's the activities around the assets that really are what we're trying to get at. And maybe ultimately we rename Wareham's Pond Recreation Center to Wareham's Pond Community Center to better reflect the changed nature of that amenity. So we're asking every KCSA committee to become intimately familiar with the master plan, internalize it, and then find a way to express it in the committee's activities. And for some committees, that's going to be very difficult to do. For instance, the Public Works Committee. For other committees, it's going to be relatively easy, like Building and Grounds and Lifestyle. So the message I want to leave is that the KCSA board is very supportive of thoughtful and innovative activities that support the master plan. And while we don't have unlimited funds, we do have unlimited creativity and thoughtfulness. And while we can't afford to do everything rather immediately, over time, we can do a lot and make Kings Mill even a better place to live. So stay tuned because there is a lot more coming down the pipe. All right, let's move on to standing committee reports. Ron, anything on budget and finance you want to tell us about?
Well, we're finishing up a number of small projects, getting ready to begin the 2022 budget. We've been working on, as you know, the master inventories and the DMA reserve policy. We've also been working on the parcel administrative bill back policy and procedures, the delinquent accounts procedures to try and do a better job with that. Finally, we're looking at distressed properties and the parcel OER contingency policy as part of that. And in the offing, of course, is the master plan, financing the master plan. We're laying out some long-term plans to support the board on that.
Terrific. All right. Let's see, bear with me in a second. Building and Grounds. Craig, anything you want to tell us?
Hold on just a side, Brandon next. Okay, go ahead, Craig.
I think he's unmuted or muted rather.
There you go.
Okay, am I okay?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. Yeah, we recently finished repairing the bike path in certain areas, repaving. That was kind of left over from last year because at the end of the year, one of the co-owners of the firm doing the work got COVID. So it was put off until this spring. On June 8th, also, we'll start our review of the bike paths for this year's repairs. The Mounts Bay pickleball courts, the final coating in certain little spider crack repairs was put off until this spring because of the weather. That has been completed as far as I know. And so I think we'll be ready to go with the pickleball courts at Mounts Bay. The Kings Mill Road intersection landscaping will begin on September 13th. A bunch of us were involved in the process of trying to figure out whether to do it this spring or wait till the fall. And the fall seemed to be the best solution. And so we have scheduled it for the 13th of September. It'll be a 2-week process probably. Also, Bruce mentioned Whitaker's Mill. We looked at the island for paving purposes. The committee agreed that the first pine tree should be removed because of root heave. That's been taken down. I'm meeting with an arborist tomorrow morning early to look at the remaining loblolly pines. They look diseased. If they think they should come down, then hopefully we can get that taken care of, which might benefit the paving process. I don't think it's necessary for that, but it might be nice. And of course, we're going to start looking at various items along with the staff that are included and some of the board members that are included in the Timmons report for improvements to Kings Mill. And that's about it.
All right, thank you, Craig. Brandon, how about communications?
Communications is been trucking along, I guess. We are still looking for, so we had a survey that went out. We have a great group of volunteers that has created a bulletin redesign committee. And with that, they have come up with some amazing, they have a report that they put together that we will be presenting to the board next month to accept it as a possible solution for us to move forward in a guided plan. But so what we're trying to do is, in the meantime, is trying to get good articles, good pictures, increase the volunteers that we have on our communications committee. And the month of June is celebrates National Camera Day. And so we're actually doing a photo contest for the month of June, celebrating this national holiday for the camera, and also just trying to encourage neighbors to take pictures of anything you love about Kingsville. And there's some amazing things that we see on Facebook that people take. So take some pictures throughout June and share them with us. And you can send those to charity. And there's an article that's going to be in the bulletin about this. But with that, we're going to try to choose a winner that will be featured on the cover of the August bulletin. So hopefully we'll get tons of great pictures and we can fill the bulletins for months on end. But the goal is to at least have one really good one for the month of August and highlight it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Brandon. And I'll reiterate, you guys have done a fantastic job on the bulletin redesign work. So I think people are going to be quite happy when they see that.
It's a great group of volunteers.
Yep, for sure. Lois, good neighbor. Looks like she's muted.
She should be. Lois, you should be able to unmute yourself.
There you
hear
go.
me?
Yes, now we can.
I tried twice, hey. So the Good Neighbor Committee met in person on the 8th of April and the 13th of May. And we have several articles on the File of Life in the next several bulletins. We have a table at the June 12th picnic. The yoga classes are ongoing at Mounts Bay. A Matter of Balance classes just ended today. We began on the 8th of April and we had 10 people, residents, complete the course. Information and awareness. The Welcome Committee project has been active for 2 months. Bruce provides us names and addresses of new residents monthly. The subcommittee chair, Patty Edis, checks the information on KCSA website, either emails, writes, or calls new residents. We've had an average of 16 to 18 new residents per month that we've contacted, and people are grateful and enthusiastic.
That's great. Thank you, Lois. Mary Ann or Sheila for lifestyle.
Mary Ann, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Okay. Just to report for May, we did a blood drive and also the second COVID vaccine drive through clinics. Both were a huge success. The goal for the blood drive was 31 donors and we had that and that was achieved. So that was great. There were 54 people vaccinated in the clinic. You know, it goes back to what John was saying earlier about trying to make it more of a community and doing all kinds of stuff. So lifestyle is trying to incorporate and make more of a community. Also in May, we did a second trivia night, which was also very successful, including the entire family, whoever wanted to be part of it. There were 65 people on trivia night. They had tons of fun and there was great feedback. There was great feedback on the first one and the same thing on the second one. So we may start to plan another one. It seems like they really, the community is really happy with those. With COVID restrictions, lifestyle is so excited that we could now start to meet again and, you know, do some of our events because they've all been sort of canceled due to COVID. So we've already started with planning the summer kickoff picnic, which was announced in Constant Contact this past Tuesday. As of recently, there was already 250 RSVPs, and there's also 2 weeks to go. So I think we're going to have a great turnout. I think people are excited about it and trying to get out and see each other and talk to each other. So it's been really good. Backed by popular demand, because we talked about this, is the food trucks. We already have 6 food trucks lined up and confirmed for this summer, what we call Kings Mill Food Truck Friday, which will be at Mounts Bay. So they've been listed in Constant Contact, and you'll see each time what type of food truck it's going to be. And we're now planning, and actually meet on Tuesday. We're planning the July 4th parade and the games. So I think that should be another fun event, trying to get people back together again. That's it.
Great. That's great. Thank you, Mary Ann. Things are slowly getting back to normal. I guess as of midnight tonight, we can burn the masks if you're fully vaccinated.
That's
right?
correct.
And life gets back to,
That is correct.
to normal.
Hey, Sheila, do you have anything else to add about the picnic or lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, since Mary Ann got that information, just in the last day, we're up to 400 RSVPs for the picnic. So this is going to be such a great event to kick off, opening up everything and everybody getting together with Kings Mill. It's going to be awesome.
Sounds like a big welcome back party.
Sheila,
Yes, we're so excited.
Sheila, are you gonna get a second beer truck?
No, but I've got quite a few kegs for that first beer truck. So we're going to be really good.
All right, very good. Thank you. Any other standing committees that would like to report?
I don't, Dave McGinnis isn't here.
Nobody from Public Works?
I don't think so.
All right, I guess that covers our agenda. Any board member have any questions or comments you want to make before we close?
Yes. I want to let all residents know that we had a new lawsuit filed against us by a resident. And we, KCSA, to be clear, this is not a lawsuit that KCSA filed. We are the defendant. A resident is challenging an EPB ruling that granted a variance to locate a house foundation. So that is currently ongoing. And I just wanted to let you know also, and this should be published in Constant Contact, that if you recall, a few weeks ago, we sent out a survey asking the community how they felt about outdoor solar powered lighting and tree replacement policies. We had 431 residents who completed the surveys and provided us with responses. And out of that 431, 93% support the position that EPB and the board of directors should allow some types of aesthetically acceptable outdoor solar powered lighting. Additionally, 70% support the position that the board of directors develop a community-wide policy that involves guidelines regarding replacing some extracted trees with new trees, depending upon how many are removed. So we just wanted to let all the residents know that we are hard at work trying to develop those policies. And at some point, when EPB and the board are satisfied that they have good policies, we will post them for community comments.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? If not, I think we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. We'll see you in June.